What's happening, party people? Outrage crew, what's popping? March 20th, 2019 just ticked over to motherfucking Wednesday. Oh, we're gonna be talking about hater ass motherfuckers at the comedy club. We're gonna be talking about linguistic kill shots, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna talk about how
The blind stares of a million pairs of eyes.
excuse me,
looking
that
hard.
fucking Tupac song coming on. I had it loaded up. What's good, Cactus Jack? Oh, you goddamn right. I know Yuri Bezmenov, man. Bezmenov. That's that Russian defector talking about the communist subversion of America. There, I know all about it. I've watched most of his shit. Very interesting, very true. As a man who's gone through the university system, I can tell you, and a man who's doing stand-up comedy out in Los Angeles, the communist subversion has taken hold, especially on these gamma and beta white dudes who hate themselves, and that's their entire mission in life, is to decide whether or not they want their dicks or not. And it's very interesting, whether or not they want to transition over, go clean slate with that Ken doll flesh wall. Who knows, dude? Damn, I got this chick below me bumping this music. That window closed. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we had fun at the open mic tonight. Motherfuckers talking shit. Oh, I love it so much. I lean into it, baby. I lean into it because people at this comedy show that I go to every night, they know that I voted for Trump, and so whenever they want to throw a little jab out there, here's what happened. So there was a couple white dudes that went up and were talking about totally weird shit to start off the mic. One of them was talking about finding his cat sexy and how he wanted to fuck his cat because it was thick. And he, playing with his cat's nipples and calling it udders and shit. And it was super weird. And then this other white dude went up and was talking about, trying to resist becoming a serial killer. And so I went up there and I was like, man, I can feel all the straight white male angst in the crowd. And this one particularly self-hating white dude went up last and was like, oh, Nick Jordan talking about straight white male angst. Oh, for a Trump supporter, that's hilarious. And it's just absurd, dude. It's fucking hilarious to me because nobody's having a better time than me laughing at these fucking idiots. And they think I'm full of angst because I understand economics and I understand how retarded the left is, and I don't hate myself, and I'm happy with my dick, and and I can see through propaganda, and so I'm the straight white male with the angst, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm just so angsty because I voted for Trump. No, I have my rational calculation goggles on, and I evaluate situations as an individual. I don't think in the herd, and I don't have self-hating masturbation as my number one goal in life to try and bust that magical nut with autoerotic asphyxiation, which is what I imagine the type of shit this dude was into. But I'm just thinking about linguistic kill shots. I've got to expect all these kind of attacks, to come up because I'm going up there and saying the shit that everybody's afraid to say. And a lot of shit that people don't understand where I'm coming from. And so I got to expect the attacks. And so it's good to have it in your back pocket just to throw out a kill shot like Trump has, Lion Ted, Low Energy Jeb, Crooked Hillary, those linguistic, just one-hitter punchlines. And this dude is particularly Aryan looking. He looks rapey and slightly drug addicted, and he looks like he stares at his computer screen watching porn a lot. And so I came up with Patrick Master Bateman. That's who this individual will be known as from now on. I'll be like, next time I see him, I'll be like, oh, what up, Patrick? And he's like, Patrick? That's your name now. You're Patrick Master Bateman. You serial killing, meat beating motherfucker. I know what you're up to, all right? And goddamn it, I was laughing all the way home because I know, like, these motherfuckers don't have staying power. Like, yeah, they goof on me now. Hey, you voted for Trump. We'll see, motherfucker. We'll see who has staying time in this fucking game. We'll see who lasts your staying power depends on if you have a mission or not. If you are really committed to what you're doing and if you have a why behind the actions that you're taking. This motherfucker has no why. He's going up there because, you know, he's insecure and hates himself and wants attention. And that's how he got into stand-up comedy. And so that don't have staying power, bro. And he made off after the mic with the girl who went up on stage and was talking about contracting herpes. So enjoy that, Patrick Master Bateman. All right, you're on the path to your own personal hell that you're building, which inevitably happens if you don't have a mission that you're on in life, ladies and gentlemen. And just fundamentally, when it comes down to it, they can't see me. On the long-term comedy shit, this is what it is, baby.
The pig.
They can't do it, baby. They don't have the staying power. They get your giggles in now. Because I know you're not in for that long haul, baby. You're going to run into, one too many herpes-infected hookers from the mic. And your drug addiction's there. And, your meat beating. Your incessant meat beating. And you're going to run into some brick walls, man. And I'm going to be cruising. So that's how it goes, dude. How is porn legal but weed isn't? Shake my head. That's, porn is that free temptation. You get power when you don't watch it. Because it's just so accessible and right there and stimulating as a motherfucker, and it's totally fake. It brings you out of reality into like this cuckold mode where you're just pretending like that's your dick fucking that hot porn star chick. You're cucking yourself through a screen. I mean, at least the motherfuckers in the cuckold videos are actually in the room where the fucking is taking place. There's pussy aromas in the atmosphere. But watching porn, you just staring at a screen, smelling your own dick. And that's not the road to self-esteem or any kind of achievement in life, ladies and gentlemen. Leighton is happy with his dick. Cactus Jack says, notice how whenever a leftist speaks, 90% of the words are like. Yeah, because they don't know what the fuck they're saying. They don't have any kind of, deciphering between true and false and what's good and bad. It's just, it's also, dick-centric. All right? Everything revolves around whether they want their dicks or not, and whether they should get them cut off for progressivism. So, have at it, baby. Have at it. I love it, man. I wouldn't be doing my thing properly if I wasn't getting shit talked by the gammas and the betas out here who just are lost. And they're looking to strike out at anybody they can and try to make themselves feel better in the moment. And good luck with that, baby. I got the Linguistic Killshots too, man. I got them in my back pocket now. I just cataloged that one. I'm waiting, baby. I'm waiting. Come at me. I got another one for one of these dudes that runs a political show at the... he spikes his hair up all in front and shit. And he's got a little bit of a wacky, like, Jim Carrey vibe. He's not nearly as funny as Jim, but he kind of looks goofy and a little bit creepy like Ace Ventura. So I'm gonna call him Rape Ventura. That's gonna be his new moniker right there. What's good, AJ? Rape Ventura and Patrick Master Bateman. My my competition in the comedy scene here. And nobody's having more fun than me, ladies and gentlemen. It's just... Oh man, they don't even realize how much I enjoy it. How much I live for confrontation, man. Why the fuck do they think I came out here thinking the way I do? You know, having fidelity to truth and reason and evidence. Oh, how dare you? You stepped into Sodom and Gomorrah here in Los Angeles. You need to fall in line with the sodomy. Fall in line with the sodomy. Hate yourself for your skin. And celebrate chopping cocks off. Oh, dude, I should start rapping. Shit, if we're gonna get down like that, we might as well get down, dude. You know, because I'm from Oklahoma. We get that Midwest swing. You know what happens when I walk up in the spot, dude. It's... They already know what the fuck it is, dude. They can't handle the dragon energy. The dragon energy and the fucking Midwest swing. Together is bulletproof, goddammit. Oh, the sodomites are running amok. What up, unnamed source? Cactus Jack says, how about rappers nowadays rap about taking drugs and killing themselves to hypnotize us to buy more drugs and listen to more of their music? Yeah, everything is about Molly Percocet. Molly Percocet. Yeah, Percocet. Molly Percocet. Like, is it cool to take prescription drugs now and get all fucked up and, you know, vaporize your liver? I'm on that slow motion liver vaporization, son. I mean, that's extra slow motion, and it's enjoyable all the way. Not this goddamn pill popping horse shit. I don't know what the fuck. That's why they can't write any lyrics. They don't even write their own lyrics, and the lyrics are trash anyway. The motherfuckers writing the lyrics are popping the same pills apparently. But yeah, rap is like, gangster rap was the beginning of there was a lot of artful shit that was done in gangster rap because it had to do with machismo, it had to do with, you know, masculinity, it had to do with, you know, having an identity as a masculine black man and making art and shit and making it and communicating the experience of growing up on the streets. There was a time and place for that, but now it's like, it's not even that anymore. It's like half these like SoundCloud rappers, they grew up in the fucking suburbs and they just get a bunch of face tattoos and, you know, skip all the street credit and just go straight to popping a bunch of pills and hating themselves and rapping about it. And it's like, it's either that or Drake nowadays. And Drake, you know, is a child actor who plays a character in all of his songs. And, you know, he plays it well. I'll give him that. But there's nothing fucking authentic about it. What up, Green Weevil? Carve what into the death? Oh, write and do drugs in elementary school. Yeah. AJ, you got to list off the right drugs to do, all right? There's a selection of good drugs to do. You know, you have a little moderation with the drugs and you mix it up, all right? And you're going to be all right. Usually it's these people that don't have any purpose in life and they usually had shitty parents and they go like off the deep end with drugs because they don't have any self-regulation in their own brain to be like, all right, that's enough. But, you know, I figured out I can do anything and everything and I know when to stop. I mean, there was this motherfucker I used to live with giant vanilla gorilla ex-football player motherfucker, and he would, he had a rich family, and he would, he didn't earn any of the money, so he would just blow it left and right. He'd be getting bags of Coke and then fucking cases of Jack Daniels, and he'd be wanting me to go line for line with him, and he's like fucking 200 pounds bigger than me. And I was like, God damn, boy, this is insane. And I would tap out at a certain point, and he would just go all night and fucking play Call of Duty for 12 hours straight and get fucking nothing done. And I was like, man, this is, I was trying to write a screenplay. What the fuck is the point of all this shit? See, I use drugs to an end. I got a purpose in mind. I'm trying to get a creative task done. I'm trying to sit down and talk shit with the Outrage crew and flow with it, And so if you use it to an end, and if the drugs don't get in the way of your purpose, then you'll regulate effectively, and you won't go off the deep end and get too crazy with the shit. But people get in this hole of nihilism where they're like, there's not a point to anything they're doing. And so they're kind of just floating around, and it's like, why not do another line? Why not have another shot? Why not? Let's just get fucked up. And the only thing regulating is like, am I gonna die or not? And that's a weird line to play with. And that's why I don't have any, apprehension about, motherfuckers in the LA comedy scene think they're in this like fake cool kids club in their head of like, trying to shame me because I'm one of those stupid Trump supporters. And I'm just sitting back laughing. Dude, you don't fucking get it at all. And you're going to die. You're going to die a slow, painful death because, you're out here smoking cigarettes and fucking chicks with herpes and hating yourself and beating your dick till it's raw and watching porn. It's like, I got no competition. I'm just full of dragon energy, baby, and arguments for days, all right? I just kick back and laugh at the shit because I know their inevitable destiny is disaster. And my destiny is fulfilling the mission that I set out. And so I know I'm on a path to achieve some shit, and they're on a path to their dick falling off, either, via chopping or STD or, drug overdose. And so, we shall see, baby. Let's play it out. We gonna see. Oh. Where's my screenplay? What are you talking about, unnamed source? It's in my documents. God damn it! You want to read it or what? I got multiple screenplays, baby. I got 4 of them. Got 4 features. God will show. You need to come back to Christianity. Outrage. You can call me Nick, Texas Jack. God will show himself if you stop sinning and pray. Owen Benjamin talks about it a lot. Yeah, I will never get on board with religious metaphysics because the burden of proof is on people that say that God exists and no one has any evidence that God exists. And so it's a simple, logical burden of proof that those who make extraordinary claims have to have extraordinary evidence to back it up. So nothing's going to get me on board with the metaphysics of Jesus was a zombie who walked on water, came back to life, and fucking Mary had a virgin birth, and God created the entire universe in 7 days, and nobody can explain how or why. And yeah, it's basic logical fallacies that just, the infinite regression fallacy, if God created the universe, there must have been a creator. Well, who created God? And then the whole contradiction with all powerful and all knowing. You can't be omniscient and omnipotent at the same time. Like if God knows that a train is going to go off the tracks and he decides to intervene and stop the train from going off the tracks because maybe somebody prayed for it and there's a miracle and then God stops the train from going off the tracks. Well, if he stops it from going off the tracks, he therefore invalidates his previous future knowledge that he had that the train was going off the tracks. So the train doesn't go off the tracks. His previous knowledge is invalidated. And so he's not all-knowing after all. So you can't be all-knowing and all-powerful at the same time. So there's so many contradictions in the religious metaphysics. And I think it does lead to a murky kind of morality that's very imprecise. I think if you have rock solid moral principles instead, and just say theft is wrong, assault is wrong, murder is wrong, and rape is wrong, and you could logically prove all of those things, that's all you need. And then you have a moral fight that will last much longer than your lifetime. To get rid of the state, which is rests on the theft of taxation there. So that's a moral battle to be fought, until you die there, to get rid of the state. And so I don't need any more moral mission than that. But I do appreciate the sentiment, Cactus Jack. I don't shit on Christians nearly as much as a lot of atheists do, because it's unnecessary. Christians already take way too much shit. Our country is based on Christianity and its morals. Exactly. Yeah, I respect the Christian morals that have led to an individualism and an anti-government sentiment, because people who genuinely believe in God usually don't genuinely believe in government and increasing the size of government, because they prefer to govern themselves with their own morality. And there's a real value to that, but people have been turned off of it because they mix the morality with the metaphysics, and the metaphysics are such obvious horseshit that any thinking, questioning person is going to be like, wait, God said it's wrong to murder, but then he floods the entire planet and kills everybody except Noah, and then Noah rounded up 2 of every animal and put them on an ark and survived? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so what I think the best practice is to extract the useful morals from the stories in the Bible and apply those to your own life, which is the actual practical benefit the Bible is going to have in your life anyway. So there's no need for believing that Jesus was a zombie that came back to life on Easter. There's no value in that. And, I think it discredits your fidelity to the truth and reason and evidence when you say that it's true and you don't have any evidence for it. What up, Kashava? And so I think, that's one of the things I see why Owen Benjamin is doing that, but it's fundamentally, it's not truth-based. It's not evidence-based. I mean, he talked about it. He had this kind of emotional moment when his kid was born, and I think there was, pregnancy complications and stuff. And he had this moment. It was like, well, I couldn't not believe in God after my baby survived. And it's kind of just an emotional, that's not based on logic or reason or evidence. Like, you just kind of hopped on the Jesus team, and now you're saying that that's truth. Like, there's a lot of true things that are in the Bible and are in Christian morality, but it doesn't mean it's true that God exists. That's a belief that's not based on any evidence. Oh yeah, I get you, Cactus Jack. It can bring people back from the brink and help regulate their behavior, but I think that's partly due to what I was talking about before, is having a mission in your life. And going by the story of Jesus, and Jordan Peterson has talked about this before, it's finding that challenge in your life that's the ultimate goal of the trajectory of your life, and bearing that fucking cross, finding a challenge that's hard enough to really motivate you to get out of bed every day and kick some ass. Like, finding that challenge that's fucking bearing that cross on your back and staggering uphill 1 foot at a time, and finding that challenge that gets you fired up enough to fucking take another step every day and stay committed to it and not give up. And that's why I know I got no competition out here in the up and coming LA comedy scene, because these motherfuckers are just lost. They're nihilistic, they're drug addicted, they're beaten off, staring at porn every day. They're done. They're dead on arrival. They're zombies. It's literally the Walking Dead out here. And none of them talk about anything that's important. They don't have any principles behind anything they're saying. They don't have a mission. And so it's like, I just part them like the Red Sea. Out of my way, useless motherfuckers. And I just rise to the top. The cream rises to the top, baby. And that's how it is. And I just sit back and laugh, because it's this demented, half sparking, half understanding, perspective that they have. And they're like, you voted for Trump. You must be an idiot. And it's just like, Enjoy it, baby. Enjoy that that moral relativism. Enjoy that, bottomless pit of chasing dopamine in your life and chasing that next hit of a good time. Enjoy that, baby. Because I got discipline, I got principles, and I got a mission. And good luck fucking competing with that, baby. Because when the Outrage crew walks up in the room, baby, this is what you hear, all right?
Do it.
Because it's bad to be good when you're in the environment of, debauchery. All right. Anybody with moral principles. Oh my God, he's a bad boy. He's so edgy. He says that taxation is theft. Oh, he's got white male angst. Oh, dude, we ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere. And we can't be stopped now. Because it's bad boys for life. Outrage for life, bitches. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. Stoicism is hard to argue. Jurassic 5, I hear you on that shit. Why are some people born with such shit lives? Well, they usually have shit parents, and they bought the line of horse shit in public school or the media, and they've been socially shamed into accepting bullshit. What happens when we die? I think we're just like any other animal, and when our brain loses power, our consciousness loses power, because that's the only place where we've observed human consciousness is where there's a functioning brain to produce it. And so there hasn't been any evidence to the contrary that consciousness can exist without a brain, a biological brain to produce it. So I think when the brain dies, the consciousness dies. I don't think there's anything after that. I mean, it's just like your consciousness before you were born. All right? Nothing. And so, got to make the best of our time while we're here on this mortal coil, ladies and gentlemen. Ocasio-Cortez just found out her recent poll numbers and freaked out on her employees. Yeah, dude, when people started hearing about her and, she was getting popular, and then they actually heard her ideas, and she coincidentally got a whole lot less popular. They're like, well, she seems passionate. She seems fuckable. She's kind of cute. It's kind of... it's kind of sexy that we have, a 27-year-old Hispanic woman in Congress, and she's just so fiery, and and then they actually read some parts of the Green New Deal, and we're like, oh God, our worst fears confirmed. She's a complete retard. Oh boy, that's not going to go well. And all these big, people running for the Democratic primary already signed on to her Green New Deal even before the public backlash started hitting on it. So it's like, oh, we need to promote AOC as much as possible, dude. Get her out there, get her out there in the limelight, ladies and gentlemen. What up, unnamed source? Thank you, sir, you generous bastard. Watch the video on AOC by Mr. Reagan. I don't know who Mr. Reagan is. I'll write it down, I guess. Somebody told me I needed to do a stream with somebody called Handsome Truth or something to get my subscribers up. I went and looked. The motherfucker has like 200 subscribers, and he's not handsome. I was very disappointed. Mr. Reagan. I'll look up the video. AOC is just a retard. She's, a particularly aggressive, witch-like version of these socialist tyrant people who just want control over other people because they were probably bullied in high school and they want revenge. And it's all very sad, ladies and gentlemen. It's all very sad that the public has fallen back down into this well of idiocy called socialism. Hard bastard. Okay, I'll write that down too. Hard bastard. That sounds a little suggestive there. The hard bastard. With more recognition, she's become less light. Are you your consciousness? I mean, yeah, there is no soul, so you are the products of your consciousness, pretty much. Your experiences, your friends, your thoughts, your consciousness. That's what you are. That's your personality. And there's some of it that's conscious, and there's some of it that's subconscious. So we do have neurons in our gut that go down our brainstem, down our spinal cord, and reside in our gut. That's why people say they have a gut feeling. It's coming from their subconscious mind in the neurons in your gut. So when you have a gut feeling, that's real. Like that's your subconscious processing. That's all the memories that you store, and all the past emotions you've had that come up when you listen to a piece of music or whatever. And I think that's part of what psychedelics are tapping into. When you take psychedelics into your gut, they seem to be stimulating those neurons in your gut and having you. That's why you get like flashbacks from your life when you take psychedelics, and you reevaluate things from a different perspective, and you get this new information that seems like it's coming from a different place, but it's actually coming from the repressed memories you've had and the experiences you've forgotten, and the stuff you've tamped down in your history, and it all comes flooding back up for you to deal with in your conscious brain when you take mushrooms or acid or something like that. So I think instead of going, Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is usually the most true. So I don't think you're necessarily going to another dimension and communicating with interdimensional aliens when you take mushrooms, as Alex Jones says the elite thinks they're doing. I think, or DMT or anything like this, I think what you're doing is tapping into parts of your subconscious mind that you don't have normal access to in your normal everyday waking consciousness. And so there is a value to psychedelics taken in a controlled environment in a safe space. Be secured when you take, I've taken 5 dried grams of psychedelic mushrooms before on an empty stomach, and I took a hit of weed like an hour in, right when it was kicking off, and next thing I knew, I was waking up on the floor of my apartment, looking up at my roommate. I had tipped over out of my chair. I got lightheaded and tipped the fuck over, and I was looking up at him. He's like, "You all right, bro? I gotta go to work." And I was like, "All right, I guess I'm all right." And it ended up being a beautiful trip. But make sure you're fucking secured down, everybody. Yeah, it'll hit you pretty fucking hard, dude. Especially combined with some good weed. I gotta do the first disrespectful piss on the podcast today. Please rate me out of 10 on the strength of my flow. I will keep the door open and let you all hear it. When I come back, I'll tell you more about the psychedelic trip, the lessons I learned, and I'll read some comments, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll crack another beer. Oh, the disrespect. The disrespect is so palpable, ladies and gentlemen. I can't help but think about that gamma from the open mic. He's probably contracting herpes right now with the chick that he left with. Who mentioned contracting herpes in her set, and that's already out of his brain because he's seeking that dopamine hit. He's an R-selected little rabbit there, and he probably can't handle himself, and so he's got to fuck this 6 out of 10 with herpes at the open mic, and his next set will probably be, you know, about how that's the new reason why he wants to kill himself is, you know, the herpes he contracted, trying to celebrate his you know, shit talking to me and making fun of me for being a Trump supporter. Yeah, we got him. But now I got it, and so now I am going to cease to be. I think that's what's going to happen. He always has jokes about wanting to kill himself. I should have been like, you know, do the one about you wanting to commit suicide. Do that one. That's my favorite joke you have. Yeah. That's the one you always do, right? Yeah, that's your shit. So the psychedelic trip, one of the things I learned is like, or realized, I guess, is like fundamentally, I mean, like I was talking about, I think your consciousness leaves when your brain shuts off, and so you got a certain amount of time on this planet to make an impact on people. And so that's what I was thinking. Like, I know nobody dies from mushrooms, but in the moment, you can trick yourself when you take 5 dried grams on an empty stomach. You're like, shit, I might be the first casualty. And so I started to think, like, in the hypothetical, like, if I did die in that moment, what would all my friends and family say about me? You know, and I had some fucked up thoughts. I was like, oh, he idolized Bill Hicks and Terrence McKenna, 2 idiots who took a bunch of drugs and died early. What a moron. But then I started thinking, like, what do people remember about you when you're gone? Well, like, all the comics who talk about Patrice O'Neal when he was gone, they tell stories about how he made them feel and like how he inspired them. So that's like your interactions with people are what's going to carry on after you die. That's the real eternal life, is really making an impact on people and inspiring people and spreading, you know, laughs and truth and positivity and even negativity. Pointing out negativity can be a positive, you know, especially in stand-up comedy, because a lot of comedy is focusing on the negative, because that's the struggle part of it, that's the pain part of it, that's the funny part of it. But you can illuminate positive truths through negative jokes. And so that's what led me to really get committed to stand-up, because that's how I want to go down in history. That's how I want to go down to my friends and family after I'm gone, is I want to spread truths and laughter at the same time, and have people remember those pieces of me after I'm gone. And, you know, I want to have, you know, all these recordings will still be up on the internet if YouTube does not take them down. And so little time capsules every night here on the Outrage Cast with you beautiful motherfuckers. So yeah, take some psychedelics. You know, 3 to 5 grams of psilocybin mushrooms will do the trick. And take it in a controlled setting and secure yourself in, ladies and gentlemen, for the ride. Let's read some comments. Let's see. Imagine if one of those muzzies had a gun. Whole shooting canceled. Exactly, dude. Defend your fucking self. And of course they rolled out the gun control right after it happened. It seems like such a staged, like, not that it didn't happen. People definitely died and shit. I don't mean staged in that way. It seems like that dude was wound up to execute that shit just based on how quick the legislation was implemented right after it happened. And it's like, oh, you think some laws written on a piece of paper are going to stop people like that from getting guns? Like, no. Green Weevil says, yeah, New Zealand banned Dissenter, BitChute, Zero Hedge, and so on. I think some of them went back up, but it's kind of fucked up. Yeah, there's this like censorship of information, and then the immediate rollout of gun control legislation, like super sketchy, dude. It seems like a deep state operation to me. You know, with the whole manifesto rollout and the entire uniformity of media coverage of, oh, white supremacists, white people evil. He hated immigrants, blah, blah, blah. like this whole rollout of this narrative with the manifesto and the immediate legislation, it just feels so fucking weird to me. Kay Burgess says, to open the doors of perception, you must prepare. Also, shrooms will mess your stomach up. Yeah, in the midst of that trip, I was staggering into the kitchen trying to make oatmeal, and it felt like I was fucking melting into the floor, like getting smaller as I got to the kitchen. And so by the time I got to my stove, I was reaching up to make fucking oatmeal on the stove and get something else in my stomach. It was quite the experience. Unnamed source says, our government is run by a commie wannabe. She only won 30% of the vote. Are you talking about AOC? Who are you talking about? Or you live somewhere else, don't you? Unnamed source, where do you live? I forgot. Sorry, buddy. Oh, you're in New Zealand. Okay. Our government is run by a commie wannabe. She only won 30% of the vote. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, that's fucking weird. The immediate rollout of the gun grabbing. We've got to take the defenses away, and that's going to stop the violence. You know. And they always throw out that 40% number. Like, oh, 40, or not 40%, 40,000. They said, oh, 40,000 people in America died last year from gun violence. And it's like, first of all, 2/3 of that are suicides. All right. And a lot of that is, you know, happens in Democrat-controlled areas with a lot of gun control. So a lot of that happens in Chicago on the south side where they have extreme gun control. A lot of that happens in Maryland, Democrat run, gun control, doesn't help. Criminals, turns out, don't really care about laws that much. The gun control argument is so retarded and it's so widespread, it's insane. Let's see. I did not watch the live stream of the shooting. I couldn't find any footage of it. Cactus Jack says, if the smartest physicist in human history, Albert Einstein, believed in God, then how can anyone else say they're smart enough to say they don't? I think it's all just opinions and faith. Well, that's an appeal to authority, and that's an appeal to IQ. Like, sure, Einstein may have had a high IQ, but correlation doesn't equal causation. He's just as open to error as anybody. I'm just saying it's a... you know, when somebody says they believe in God, people pretend like that's a personal belief and it's personal to them. But what they're actually doing is making an objective claim about reality that God exists. And so with a claim like that, it's an extraordinary claim that there's a deity out there somewhere that created this whole thing and created humanity. Huge claim requires huge evidence. And they don't give you the evidence. It's just faith-based. And I would suggest that to Christians. Don't try to make logical arguments. It's fine if you have faith. Just admit you have faith. And it has nothing to do with logic or truth. It's an emotional thing that helps lead you into the ideas of morality. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just, doesn't have anything to do with philosophy, reason, evidence, logic, or truth. And so when people say it does, when people say that's the definite truth, that raises flags in my head to what else are they being dishonest with themselves about. You know, when Owen Benjamin started doing that, I was like, oh man, that's kind of disappointing. Because he is like a big voice out there for breaking shit down and critical thinking and being, you know, having a fidelity to the truth and having fidelity to principles and shit. And then he got off on the Jesus kick. And it's just like, that's where you diverge from truth and reality and you go off into fantasy land about God created the universe and Jesus was a zombie. Like, you don't have any evidence for that. Stop saying it's true. You don't know it's true. All right? You believe it. That's faith. It's totally different. It's not in the realm of philosophy and truth. And so, and then he started talking about the moon landing and shit. And there's a lot of like little weird things with the moon landing, but there's no definite proof that it didn't happen. And it's an extravagant claim to say that it didn't happen. Even with compartmentalization, there would have had to been so many people in on that. And nobody would have been able to keep that secret, dude. I'm not saying, I'm not saying unnamed source, I'm not saying we definitely went to the moon, but I'm not saying we definitely didn't either. I'm just saying it's an extraordinary claim that requires a little more evidence than, oh, NASA deleted the telemetry data. It's like, what use would the telemetry data have if people weren't disputing whether or not we went? I mean, you can look at it as if, like, oh, people are disputing now whether or not we went, and they don't have the data to back it up, so they don't have the proof that we went. But it's like, if you think about it from NASA's point of view, what up, Star Trek? And I'll get to your comment here in a second, but if you're thinking about it from NASA's point of view, like 30 years passed and people were just like, yeah, we went to the moon. Like it, I mean, there was this whole big, show on TV. There was all this NASA buildup and all this training, and like, there would be no real reason to keep the telemetry data. Like, we don't necessarily need proof that we accomplished the thing because nobody was disputing it at the time. And so, I don't know. I don't know if we win or not, but to say definitively one way or another, I think you need a little better arguments than Owen was presenting. What's garbage? Unnamed source. I'm open to it, baby. I've heard all of Owen Benjamin's arguments. He makes good cases. It's not inconsequential, Weevil, because if they did pull off the fake moon landing, that's a huge moment in American history, and it does show the ability of the government to, pull the wool over people's eyes on a mass scale, and the willingness to pull off that kind of fake event. Zuckerberg, no, I don't have any game systems. I used to be heavy into the video games. I got off of that shit. Then I started getting into conspiracy theories. Oh. Star Trekking says, I live in New Zealand and a lot of rich foreign people buy our land in case of an apocalypse and build bunkers here. Yeah, that's what Alex Jones was talking about, that a lot of the elites are taking refuge in New Zealand. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on there in New Zealand. I know it's beautiful, and I know, they don't want you to have guns there now, which is a little weird. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, unnamed source, that they needed to tape over the tapes, but it's like, why keep the tapes if it's not nobody was disputing it? I mean, I do feel like part of the moon landing footage that we saw was filmed on a soundstage, probably by Stanley Kubrick. And so a lot of the promotional stuff and a lot of the shit that was seen on TV was probably totally fake. That doesn't mean we didn't go. Who the fuck knows? Star Trek, it says we should be more worried that politicians are fucking babies. Oh, do you got the documents on that shit? Yeah, dude, there's a lot of creepy politicians. I wouldn't, creepy Joe Biden, I wouldn't put anything past him, dude. He's over there sniffing 9-year-old necks, feeling up on freshly blooming titties. Not good. Creepy Joe. All right, not good, dude. Not good at all. There's I wouldn't be surprised, man. I don't put anything past. That's why I'm still open to the moon landing being fake, because anything is possible. Anything is on the table when it comes to deception or debauchery when you openly steal people's money and propagandize them to convince them it's good. When you can convince an entire population that taxation is not theft, shit, it's party time, baby. We can get it. We can get away with it, whatever we want. The government's like, shit. Yo, they believe that taxation ain't theft, baby. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Next thing you know, they're on fucking Jeffrey Epstein's private island, you know, getting down on some debauchery. You know, I wouldn't put it past them, dude. Because once you get that fucking tax money, you know, you convince the public is a bunch of herd cattle that doesn't realize what the fuck is happening, and they don't have time to pay attention to the shit and learn the philosophical arguments behind it. So you're like, oh yeah, fuck them. You're like Bill Gates. You're like, fuck it, let's just get the population down to 500,000. Let's, you're like George Bush, let's worship the owl god, Moloch, and have a fucking eyes wide shut party. And let's get our fuck on. Who blocked you, Zuckerberg? Oh, Wesley Snipes blocked you on Twitter? How dare you be racist against the Egyptians, dude? How dare you be racist against the Egyptians? I know a Venezuelan and Egyptian stripper chick out here in Hollywood, and she has a big old fat ass, and I just love it. Got music notes tattooed on it and fucking cherries. And those are the type of women I'm into, ladies and gentlemen. Dangerous black women. And it doesn't matter if your dick is inside a black woman, people will still find a way to call you racist out here. I know, I'm inside her. Who did you vote for? What do you think about immigration? I'm inside her. Still think you're kind of racist. What's that Civil War haircut about, boy? Kay Burgess says, I have proof the moon landing happened. Proof you can go see for yourself like I did in real life. Well, shit, you got a telescope? What you got, baby? You got a goddamn telescope? Zuckerberg said they had slaves and left us giant pyramids with no answers. We can be racist all we want. God damn it, they were fucking cats back in the Egypt days, dude. They were fucking cats and whipping slaves, you know. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible society. Those pyramids are impressive, though. I do want to go to Egypt once the, you know, the whole Civil War hysteria dies down and, you know, the destabilization of the country, you know. I don't want to get my head cut off, but I do want to go over there and see some goddamn megaliths. I'll be 98 by then. Yeah, I don't know if they're ever going to figure that shit out over there in fucking North Africa, dude. They got some troubles, all right? You know, troublesome, all right, over there in North Africa, dude. Especially after Obama collapsed Libya. Obama and Hillary Clinton brought back modern-day slavery. You know, now we got the open slave trade in Libya. Thanks, progressives. We're progressing back to slavery. I guess in the Democrat mind state, that's progress. All right, because they actually, you know, own most of the slaves back in the day. And they're the party of the KKK. So that's progress. We got to go back to slavery. You know, AOC wants to enslave the rich. What up, angry gun owner? Fucking getting ready to come out here to LA with your bad motherfucking ass. AOC wants to have that 70% tax. I say, why not 100%, dude? Instead of food stamps, you can just have your own personal slave that used to be a rich person. And they can just rub your feet and make you sandwiches, and clean off your Cheeto fingers and give you their shirts off their back for you to jerk off in, and it'll just be perfect, baby. Hashtag enslave the rich, because they deserve it, because they participate in the evil, patriarchal, capitalist system, capitalizing off the backs of the oppressed. Hashtag enslave the rich, all right? That's the reparations they need, dude. King Tut was inbred. What up, William Anderson? Now you coming in hard with that first comment, dude. Tut was inbred, son. That's why he looked like a mini dark John Merrick. I don't know who John Merrick is, but I get the sentiment of your jokes there. That's, people always want to try to keep that elite fucking bloodline going. And, they get into the inbreeding weird shit, and then, a couple generations down the line, somebody has a nose on the side of their face, still thinking they're fucking in the elite class. And it's like, are you really elite? Oh, Elephant Man. Okay. That's hilarious, dude. That's why he wore a mask. He wore that fucking majestic mask, hiding that fucking, that butt ugly face of his, maintaining respect, all right? It's the only way you get the pyramids built. Yeah, dude, 100% slave tax on the rich, all right? Because we want to disincentivize anybody from being successful. And also, the rich are too dumb to pay off lobbyists to get zero tax like Amazon and Netflix. They're too dumb to do that. And they can't outsmart Bernie Sanders or AOC. They're too dumb to, book a flight to Puerto Rico. Or put their fucking money in a Cayman bank account. They just can't figure it out. They're the dumb rich. All right? They just woke up with a big sack of money and a whole lot of white privilege. And God damn it, even though Ashkenazi Jews and East Asians are doing way better than white people on average, it's all white privilege. What about Asian privilege, dude? Andrew Yang is getting no, blowback for his Asian privilege. All right? He can do long division in 2 seconds, but, nobody points out his privilege. Nobody points out Bernie Sanders' privilege as a Jew. I don't think Bernie Sanders is Ashkenazi. He's probably Sephardic or something. Because that motherfucker is so retarded. I don't know if he's retarded or brilliant to capitalize on the idiocy of the youth and get all of this wealth for himself, peddling this nonsense. Bernie might actually be a secret Ashkenazi genius. All right, just peddling this socialist horseshit and knowing that the propagandized youth is going to lap it all up, and he's going to get all this notoriety and donations from it. No refunds, burnouts. No refunds. Condoms aren't safe. My best friend was hit by a car. What? Did he have a condom on his cock when he got hit? Dude, you shouldn't be trying to put on a condom in the middle of the street. I think he deserved it, son. That's natural selection at work. All right? And this other thing, Owen Benjamin and Vox Day are off on this evolution denial thing. It's so weird to me, man. Once you start believing in the Jesus narrative and the God narrative, it's like your fidelity to truth and reason and evidence is just disintegrates. And you're just like, well, God did everything, and that's true. And just because government-funded science is horseshit a lot of the times, climate change is horseshit, the whole blowback against anti-vaxxers is bullshit. It's not necessary to get a whole bunch of vaccines to have your kid be healthy and not get a bunch of diseases. Just feed your kid some goddamn broccoli and some beef, and he'll be fine. And give him his multivitamin, and he'll be fucking... But evolution is just so fucking obvious. You're right, unnamed source. I don't know if you're talking about obvious it's bullshit or obvious it's true. But evolution is so fucking just observably true. Like the way that human beings have evolved and adapted differently based on where they came up in their climatological environments. Like, it's obvious when you look at it. Like, African people, they usually have this, like, this tropical mind state of abundance, because food is abundant in a tropical mind state, and so they have no problem accepting the welfare state, and like they don't have any apprehension about the government running out of money. But it's like white people came up in cold fucking areas where you had to plan ahead of the time for the winter, and so they had to conserve, they had to learn agriculture, they had to harvest their crops properly over long periods of time and plan shit out and be forward thinking. And so that lends itself to a little higher IQ. Same thing with East Asians in Siberia. And Africans, they obviously have darker skin because of all the sun exposure. All right? And they have, greater athleticism because they had to literally run and hunt down their food. And they didn't have the climatological pressures to design, like, fucking weapons and wheels and like all this shit that Europeans designed in order to get their food. It's not hard to see the environmental pressures causing evolution to create different, races of human beings. And so it's just like, you deny evolution, it's like so absurd. And to think of how chimp-like human beings are, like, we came from a shared ancestor between the great apes and the chimpanzees, ladies and gentlemen. It's just, we have enough of the fossil record to prove it. It's like they get all neurotic and pedantic about, well, carbon dating can't be officially verified. It's like, dude, are you saying all the dinosaur bones are fake? Chimpanzee, baby, we got it in us. That's what it is, man. That's that fucking, tribalism. That's territorialism. That's the whole fucking animalistic impulse, dude. We're animals that happen to have self-reflective consciousness. And, it's just absurd. It's just absurd, ladies and gentlemen. Look like a white Stephen A. Smith. Lay off the weed. LeBron James is unbelievable. Okay? He goes to Los Angeles thinking he's going to turn the franchise around. And what does he do? He tries to play GM, and it don't work out. Who could have predicted that? Stephen A., dude. What a fucking cartoon character. Kate Burgess says, no evolution. Flat Earth people need to miss me with that. You miss me with all that bullshit, dude. I'm not trying to get into flat Earth discussions, bruh. I don't, believe everything that comes out of NASA, but I also don't believe that there's that big of a global conspiracy that they've faked all of the, satellite footage of the spherical Earth. And it's this big, cooperative effort in NASA to hide the fact that we're living in a flat Earth with a dome or some shit. It's like, let's focus on taxation being theft. How about that? Let's focus on shit we can objectively prove is terrible and bad and could lead toward destruction. Just a little economics. That's all we're asking. I mean, it's amazing that that's the number one clue that public school is straight up propaganda, is they don't teach you anything about economics. Because if they actually taught you about economics, you might suddenly discover that the government isn't beneficial and that it's actually a leech on the neck of the populace who's just trying to trade and have commerce and start businesses and flourish and be successful. And the government's like, we want our piece. Give us our share. God damn it. And it's just this swelling fucking neck parasite that's grown to like unsustainable levels. And we're talking about the flat earth. Like, how about the parasite on our neck? Let's talk about the parasite. You're talking about one aspect of the parasite, NASA. You know, it's just totally beside the point to me. What up, Jacob? What is there to talk about my beard, dude? It grows. It's got a life of its own. It's got its own consciousness. All right. My beard has its own aura. It has its own dragon energy. All right. And so it's slowly taking over my face. All right. And soon I'm going to start chopping my own wood. You know, I'm going to start, just having 3 and 4 girlfriends, and it's going to get out of control, but I try to keep it under reins. All right, I have a pair of clippers back there, and I'm trying to keep a leash on it. Dragon energy, William Anderson. That's what happens when you don't watch porn and you don't beat off. You just all full up with fucking defense of Western civilization, dude, to the brim. All right, I'm fucking ready to go. I'm ready to talk shit to some communists, baby. I'm ready to shame the devil in public, ladies and gentlemen. And I will bear that cross, and I will stagger up the motherfucking hill with all the recruited dragon energy afforded to me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what life's all about. Zuckerberg says I want to get about 3 drones and then have them strapped with bright lights, have them fly in a sequence of shapes and move really fast so I can trick the news into thinking there are aliens in my town. That's very, that sounds very Jewy. That's a very Jewy subversive plan. Very manipulative, all right? You should probably be working at the Federal Reserve if that's your schedule for the week, is tricking everybody in your town that there's an alien invasion. Very creepy, very nefarious. What are you doing there? Lay off the porn, Zuckerberg. According to ancient alien theorists, human beings were once chimpanzees that got tampered with by ET and turned into these self-reflective, mostly self-hating white liberals. It's boring as fuck out here with nothing to do with smoke weed and fuck. Where you at, Zuckerberg? You got to come to where the action is, baby. Or start your own scene out there. You could start your own, I don't want to say Charlie Manson cult because you don't want to murder anybody, but start your own freedom cult out there, baby. Jacob Cruson says I look like a gay Jew weasel. Does that mean you think that I look like I have a high IQ there? I'll take that as a compliment. The Jew nose raises the IQ points, all right? And the beard increases the savagery, all right? So I got the best of both worlds, baby. Rocking it on both ends of the spectrum. Disclosed location in California. I hear you, baby. I hear you. California, it's that some of these spaces out here, man, you got them wide open spaces. Not much to do. All right, but you got the internet. Okay, you got the Outrage crew. I've not been ultra circumcised. Okay, Angry Gun. It was a very delicate procedure. They cut off the minimal amount. All right, my parents were Catholic. They weren't down with the Jew plan. The Jews were like, we need more of that dick. And my parents were like, no. he's going to have an impressive dick. All right, we got to leave him with a, you know, that light circumcision. All right, we just want to clean it up and make it look pretty. All right. All right, Jacob Cruson, now your trolling has gotten you in a timeout. We're going to put your nose in the corner there, and then when you come back, you're going to have something nice to say about the federal outrage chancellor, all right? And it's going to be fun, and we're going to be positive, and we're going to shame the communists here. We're going to put your nose in the corner, and you're going to think about these naughty comments you've been leaving, all right? Think about what you've done, all right? And repent to the federal outrage chancellor, all right? We're going to leave it up to you. Sandra Bullock uses baby foreskin as facial cream. Yes, it's very progressive. It's very progressive, and you know, that's how you know that men rule society, is that they use our chopped off foreskin to rub into their faces. That's the pinnacle of patriarchy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I know, Cactus Jack. Yeah, I know. The pinnacle of patriarchy, right there, using our dick skin as facial moisturizer. You know, something tells me we're living in a matriarchy. When you look at that and the family court system there, and the Kavanaugh hearings, something tells me we're listening to women a little too much. All right, we have a bunch of mommy complex men, all right, who don't know how to say no to women. And that's the secret. Once you learn it, as soon as you say no to women, they respect you. And they actually want your dick after that. Oh, who would have known? Because most women know they're full of shit and they're hysterical and they're overly emotional. And they just want a man who admits it. It's like, yeah, bitch, you crazy. And they're like, oh my God, I love you. But if it's like, oh my God, what are you upset about? What did I do wrong? It must be something wrong with me. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, and I'll be more careful about your feelings, and I'll write you a note on Facebook, and I'll make a public apology, and I'm gonna go on The View and apologize for how I treated you. Nothing dries the pussy up more. All right, and that's what these gammas and betas don't understand, and that's why the shit talking gamma from the comedy show tonight is currently contracting herpes. All right. Just how it goes, all right? You got to tell women no, okay? You got herpes? No. You say Judge Kavanaugh is a gang rapist? No. You're going up to Harvey Weinstein's hotel room at midnight for a business meeting? No. You're not a victim. You want to vote for the welfare state? No. Not a good idea. Unnamed source is all about pussy and hot rods. He gets it, dude. You got to tell the bitches no and get a hot rod and say, and then they're like, oh my God, he doesn't give a fuck. I love him. You know? And then all of a sudden you're hanging out with the bitches and it's like, you know what I'm saying? They feel the dragon energy, all right? When you put it out, when you put out the frequency, they get on board with it. That's the biggest mistake I used to make in high school and college, is trying to fucking, you know, just accommodate women and trying to make them happy. When you're trying to make them happy, you will always fail. If you try to make yourself happy, well, then they can come on board and they can be happy as well. Because they want a man that has a larger mission than trying to make her happy. If you're satisfied with making her happy, and then it's all about her, and she like gets frustrated with you. But they want a man that has a bigger mission than trying to please their woman. And so then they can get on board and they can come on a ride with you and take the ride with you. Welcome to join if you like, baby. That's what they like. They like you to have your own shit going on, and then they can join if they like. But what I used to do is just follow bitches around at fraternity parties and be like, what do you want to do? Let's do whatever you want to do so you can be happy. They hate that. There's nothing more they hate than that. It's a man that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing in his life. And so that's why there's no competition out here in Hollywood, baby. Nobody has a goddamn mission. Everybody's just like, well, we kind of hate Trump and white people. That's what we've got to offer. Aren't you loving it, ladies? And that's why, you know, most of these white women are fucking the brothers now. They're going over to the black dudes because the black dudes are generally politically incorrect. And they don't give a fuck, and they talk shit, and they got big old dicks. You know, so the women are like, oh my God, I guess I'll go with Tyrone because nobody else has a cock or a spine. And, you know, but we here defending Western civilization, and we got dicks on the Federal Outrage Commune. All right? We got big old dicks, and we got big old balls, and we defend the nation. All right? We defend truth, we defend liberty. All right? And we stand up for what the fuck we believe in. We don't cuck out, ladies and gentlemen. And we tell bitches no when they need to hear it. And we call them bitches sometimes. Sometimes we call them bitches. Because sometimes they need to hear it. You know? Because sometimes it's like this, man. Sometimes you got to just be like,
Boy, that's what's up. After bucks, crush crews after us. No games, we ain't laughing much. Nothing but big things. Check the hit list. Our twitch shit, what changed with the name? We still here. You're rocking with the best. Don't worry.
that's what they like, man. It's that not give a fuck. It's like, well, you're acting like a bitch. Why you? I call a spade, baby. Bitch, no. That's what Western civilization needs. We gotta stand up to women and say, bitch, no. And if dudes would just do that, but they won't do it. And it's, you know, that's why nobody's having more fun than me. Is because if you get it, life becomes so much easier. Oh, just say, bitch, no. No, I'm not following your Instagram with your booty pics. No, I'm not watching porn trying to imagine myself with 3 bitches at the same time. No, I'm not doing that bullshit. No, I don't think the welfare state is necessary. No, I don't think we need a big government. No, I don't think fundamentally women voting without a stake in the game was a really good idea. No, I don't think that. You got any arguments for me, bitches, or you just got that fucking attitude? You know, I've been hooking up with this chick that, you know, I used to know from Olive Garden in Culver City, and you know, one of the things that made her really attracted to me was like, she was this black chick with this huge fat ass, and one of the things that I really felt her attraction to me build up was when I was having a conversation with somebody else about politics, I guess, and she came up and she was like, and the other person walked away and she was like, what were you talking about? And I was like, oh, you know, politics, you wouldn't know nothing about that. And just waved her off like that, and she was like, what? What did you say? I wouldn't know. And she knew deep down it was kind of true, but she didn't like being put in her place like that in the moment. But then when I didn't give a fuck, when she was like, what are you doing? What did you say? And I was like, you wouldn't know nothing about that, you know. And then she was like, you know, wanting me to slap her ass in the side station and all this shit. That's what these motherfuckers don't understand, dude. When you tell a bitch no, they can't resist it. Oh, dude, them breadsticks. I was heavy on the breadsticks, dude. I would hit them push-ups and squats in the morning, come in and get that soup salad and breadsticks, baby. Ooh, it was on. What up, Lord Helen? I've been streaming for 79 minutes here, baby. 7 and 9 minutes. I gotta go here and what frat was I in? Kappa Alpha Order. It was fucking terrible. Gave her all the Alfredo sauce. Oh shit! Big fat fucking ass! I gave her that side of Alfredo. Oh! I drizzled it on there. Oh, dude, I'll tell you a funny story about hooking up with that chick when I come back. I got to drop some goddamn flow in the toilet here. Rate me out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you hear the bass pumping below me. This big booty chick that lives in my apartment complex, I struck out with her one time. You know, I'm trying to not be the creepy assistant manager and trying to keep my ethics here and get the manager job. But I'll be back. I'll tell you a little story about the big booty bitch from Olive Garden. One more beer, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. 4 out of 10. Oh, he needs more fluids. 7.4, I'll take it. 10 out of 10. Oh, shit. Stupid dice. Ow! He can't resist the Jello. That's how Cosby got him. Pudding pops. Ooh. Yeah, dude. So me and this chick got a little kinky with it, and she wanted oil. She wanted me to rub that baby oil all over the booty. And I had just gotten a new phone, and I had just dropped it, and the screen had cracked. It was one of those big iPhone 6s. And I'm glad I got the smaller one now. That's what I'm streaming on right now. But I had one of these big iPhone 6s and I just got it. And I dropped it and I cracked it. And I was like, oh shit. And so, but that was laying on the side table. And so I had the baby oil out with the booty and I was slathering it all over. And we were getting after it. And then, oh man, I sat the oil down. And I tried to click it closed, and it slipped out of my hand and tipped over on the on the bedside table. And my phone was laying right there, face down, and so the oil pooled up on the phone, and so it filled the cracks in the phone with booty oil, and so I had fucking booty oil floating around on the screen of my phone for fucking weeks, dude. It was regrettable, dude. But you know, the things we do for big booty out here in Los Angeles. Oh my. Oh. You gotta get that baby oil, man. You gotta get the fucking whipped cream out, you know. Get into it, dude. Super soak that hoe, son. You know how it goes. What's up, PewDiePie? Yes, the CEO of Facebook is here. Occasionally we have Donald J. Trump popping in to the chat. It's big things we're doing here at the the Federal Outrage Commune. All right, I'm still awaiting all of your paychecks. You know, send all of your paychecks into me. I will disperse the money that you're rightfully owed as I see fit. And everybody's gonna meet up at the compound you know, in Hollywood. And I'm going to have some private time with your wives. We're going to make it happen, dude. We're just trying to, you know, achieve some freedom here and shame the communists and create our own free society, dude. Oh, unnamed source knows what the fuck is up with the country grammar, son. That's what it is, dude. You can find me in St. Louis rolling on dubs. Yeah, dude. Yes, sirree. What the fuck else is going on in the world today, ladies and gentlemen? The nation awaits Robert Mueller's decisions. Booty Pie says, skit idea, dress up like an imam and go hard at a feminist. An imam, is that's like an Arab religious leader, dude, I think, imam. If I had a turban, you know, I could go hard. You know, I got the beard rocking. We could make some shit happen, you know. The feminists, they think that they want that they think they don't want toxic masculinity, but then they embrace Islam because that's how pathetic the white liberals have gotten, and so self-hating and self-effacing and beta, you know, that gives rise to third wave feminism. Is the lack of masculinity and the lack of father figures in the household, and the welfare state and everything has contributed to it. The lack of masculinity and the takeover, the matriarchy takeover that's happened. And you know, people have such a hard time seeing it because they still have this idea in their head that, oh, men rule the world, and it's like, not in modern day America. I mean, when you're Brett Kavanaugh, and you can just be accused of total nonsense with no evidence, and it goes to like this public hearing where you're on trial for being a supposed gang rapist, and no evidence is required, and it's just like, we believe her. I watched her, and her crying seemed authentic, and she has a vagina. Why would she lie? I mean, people with vaginas, they barely even have imaginations. They can't come up with lies. That's the viewpoint that the left seems to have, that women, we just need to believe women because they don't have the capacity to come up with lies in those small little bird brains of theirs. How could they lie? Why would they lie? I mean, she only got, you know, millions of dollars on her GoFundMe. Hashtag believe all men. Oh. Create a Twitter account dressed like a Muslim and troll the blue check marks. Oh, dude, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, dude. We need to do something. We need to get Kevin Bennett off the you know, accordion road show. You talking about the Young Turks? The Young Turks are such hacks. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would watch their horse shit. Falling right in the leftist paradigm there. Yeah, I don't know. They're fucking buffoons. They're buffoons, ladies and gentlemen. I think it was Anna Kasparian that went on Joe Rogan's podcast and started talking about what a cult leader Stefan Molyneux is. It's like, if there's anybody that's totally antithetical to being a fucking to being a cult leader, it would be Stefan Molyneux, who has a total fidelity to reason and evidence and backs everything up he says with statistics and and logic and argumentation. Like, yeah, what a cult leader. Angry Gun Owner, I've posted stand-up clips on the Outrage channel there. You could go and check them out. I would play some shit, but I mean, I guess I could go ahead and play some shit for you that I've already posted while we're streaming here. They won't mention Steven Crowder. They're scared. Yeah, I like Crowder. He's doing good shit, man. He's going out there and, you know, confronting people in reality with that Change My Mind segment. That shit gets millions and millions of views because people like watching that shit. They like watching the arguments of the left get totally dismantled in front of their faces and the triggering that happens as a result. You know, it's a beautiful thing to watch. I don't get his aversion to weed and his, you know, his love for Jesus, but do your thing, Steven Crowder. Speaking up for freedom. Let's see, I could probably play a stand-up clip here. I don't know, most of you guys have seen the stand-up clips. Go check them out, Angry Gun Owner. I posted some shit. I'll try to get more shit on video and post it up on the Outrage channel. You know. And I have a lot of shit on backlog that's audio. Would y'all want to listen to, you know, the Fourth Wall Chronicles? I have fucking hundreds of hours of tapes of sets that I've done that's just audio. And if I put it up, I could put it up with, like, you know, pictures and slideshows and whatnot. But it's not video. Because you gotta have a goddamn, I need a fucking camera rig to set up my my phone every time I go in there and get the shit on video. But I have a bunch of good sets that I've saved on my fucking on pure audio. And I know people, you know, there's all kinds of stand-up CDs that get a ton of views on YouTube that's just audio only. And you know, I figure I could post some of that shit, and because I got a lot of killer shit that I haven't released that's like current events and topical, and it's like I'm never gonna do it, you know, again, and so I might as well throw it up on the Outrage channel and let y'all enjoy it. I might do that. I'll pick out some good audio clips for you. Brazil is getting red pilled. Yeah, they definitely have a high testosterone society there, and they got, you know, that new you know, Trump clone leader there. Something's going on. Something's going on. I mean, they live right next to Venezuela. They can see the evils of socialism and the results therein. So take what America has done right and learn from it. There's no copyright on the Constitution. You know, get yourself a little slice of freedom pie, baby, and do your thing. The Marxist leaders have fled. Brazil has a shortage of fabric, which I endorse. Yes, I endorse the big booty women of Brazil. You know, I look forward to going down there and visiting at some point and indulging in the local festivities. You know, that's my kind of women, dude. I like them South American women. I like them Caribbean women. You know, mix it up with African, and that's just right. You know. Like I was telling you earlier, Egyptian and Venezuelan, dude, that's a beautiful combo. This chick is Egyptian, Venezuelan, and she was raised in Compton, California. Let's see if I got any old stand-up clips I can play. Because I got some audio. I don't want to be searching around on my I don't want to be searching around on my computer, boring y'all to tears. I'll post some shit up. I'll post up some audio on the channel there for your listening pleasure. Let's see if I can think about any bits I've been doing. I've been talking about head trauma on stage. All the comics I know have a story about head trauma, and how I want to start a comedy class where motherfuckers line up and take a 2x4 to the head and get funny. I got some stories about head trauma, dude. I got some stories about, doing anything and everything to get to the big black asses out here. I'm known to show up on Crenshaw Boulevard with a fat bottle of wine and, back to the Young Turks. There you go. Head trauma. I'm known to show up on Crenshaw Boulevard, bruh, with a fucking full bottle of wine, representing. All right. With these, tiny waists and big asses, they show up at the door, we're pouring wine, we're having a good time, we go in the front room, and all three of her kids are there. And I'm like, number one, what the fuck? And number two, how did your waist bounce back from all of that? That's impressive as a motherfucker. And then, we're sitting in the front room sipping wine, thinking about fucking, and her kids are looking up at me like, you think the cartoons are funny, mister? Well, this situation sure is funny. Mama, why don't you give me a tour of the place? Give me the cribs tour. Let's go in the back room. And, that ass was tremendous, but the kids were knocking at the door the whole time. It was awkward, Oh, but I like dangerous looking black women, man. And if they don't have tattoos, if there's not a chance I'm walking around with her, if there's not a chance of me getting jumped, what's the point? My whole goal is to have black dudes look at me and be like, how is he handling all of that? Don't worry about it, baby. That's dragon energy. All right, we handle shit. But that I've learned from experience that the more you do for women, the less they want to fuck you. Like that Egyptian and Venezuelan chick, I helped design her website. And the doper the website got, the less she wanted to fuck. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because it was on, right? I met her at the Olive Garden, suggesting wine samples and whatnot. And I was like, baby, I'm having my own bottle of wine later tonight. You're welcome to join if you like. And she took me up on the offer, and everything was enthusiastic to start it off. I woke up the next morning, she was sucking my dick with a do-rag on, That's real Compton culture right there. You ever had a dick sucked from a girl with a do-rag on? That's California. But goddamn it, I started, I said she was a stripper, but she doesn't really work in a club. She does this shit where she posts her pictures of her ass on the internet, and then rich ass lonely white motherfuckers, they hit her up, and then she goes to their mansions and shakes her ass and gives them a massage for like 20 minutes and walks out with hundreds of dollars. And so I helped design her website, and there was like she was like, help me design my menu. And there's all this different shit that she does. One of them was like nude chef, where she just shows up, puts on some lingerie, cooks them a meal, and then fucking leaves. And it's like, how pathetic are these motherfuckers' lives? Like, there's people out here getting pissed on and paying for it. You know, it seems like the collapse of civilization. You know, it seems like, you know, the end of the Roman Empire. All right, when dudes are paying to get pissed on, paying to get kicked in the nuts, you know, and they're enjoying it. It's like, you know, cage fighting is the fastest rising sport. It might as well be the Roman Colosseum. You know, we got people overindulging on every substance known to man, on all the food, the fast food restaurants, and I mean, there's so many parallels to the fall of Rome, ladies and gentlemen, and I've experienced it firsthand. Getting pimped out for my web design skills by fine ass Caribbean women. All right. No, dude, she didn't drive a Buick. She drove a brand new fucking Dodge Charger. That's what pissing on rich white people and kicking them in the nuts will buy you. All right, a sports car. All right, it's a sustainable living out here in California. Riding on the coattails of white guilt. Zuckerberg says girls in my town or region I live in have 2 Instagram accounts, the regular one and one called Finsta. Basically, them posting semi-naked pic of themselves and then a caption of them complaining. Yeah, dude. People got to stop giving these bitches so much attention. You know, on the dating apps, I used to be on the dating apps, man. I had to get off the dating apps because I realized, like, I'm spending all this time swiping, and all I'm doing for the majority of these bitches, they don't actually want to meet up. They just want the validation of getting a match with you and seeing how much they can drain out of you and waste your time. Because the more time they can waste of yours, the more valuable they are in their head. Of like, oh my God, he's waiting for my text. Ooh. And like, he liked my picture on Instagram. Ooh. It's like, no, just live your fucking life and do your fucking thing, and you're gonna meet girls along the way, and that's gonna be the most, you know, fruitful relationships you're gonna have. If you go out and chasing bitches, they're not fundamentally gonna respect you. Yeah, and it's not good for your brain. All this fucking don't want to fuck. Yes, I do want to fuck. Don't want to fuck. Yes, I do want to fuck. All day long, like da 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 da. It makes you fucking shallow, and you like. I think it's the same thing with porn. It's that hyper stimulation, that dopamine release of like, I would fuck her. Yeah. Like, I don't think it's good. I think you lose the minutia. You lose the little details about reality, and like, you know, you lose contact with your own emotions. Yeah, it's an undeserved reward. Right on, unnamed source. That's true. So I had some fun in my early 20s out here with the dating apps and shit. But fundamentally, I think it's a waste of time, and I think you're lowering yourself. Because no badass motherfucker dude is out here on these dating apps. Like, what are you doing? You're just openly admitting to all these bitches you're swiping to that you are currently without pussy and you're seeking some pussy. And so you're lowering yourself, especially because the man usually has to send the first message. But even being on the dating app, you're chasing pussy, which is inherently unattractive. Because a real, actual attractive man just, you know, does his thing and pussy comes to him. Now, there's a difference. I'm not saying if the opportunity presents itself, women like men to be assertive. They like you to, like, if they come in your environment, you start a conversation with them. You break the ice. You make them comfortable. That's the man's role as well. Make them comfortable, break the ice, start the conversation, get it flowing. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's a skill set that a man has to have. And I used to go around in my college town. I talk about this on stage. Yeah, this is a good story. I used to go around in my college town because I told you I was pathetic with women in high school and early in my college days. But then I started to figure out I got to go teach myself how to be uncomfortable with women and talk to them in public and start conversations out of nothing. And so I would go around for hours every day. I mean, it's pathetic looking back on it, but it's valuable man lessons. It's building skills that every man needs to have. And so I have these skills in me now to go up to a random bitch in the street and start a conversation and start rapping with her and get a vibe going and pull her phone number and then get something popping later. Apply yourself. Exactly, Zuckerberg. This isn't watching porn. This isn't flipping around on a dating app. Girls really respect this shit when like you're in the same environment with them and you just start a conversation and make them feel comfortable and make them laugh and you know, get the conversation flowing. And so I would go around and do this in my college town for hours out of the day. I would go around to Ross, Dress for Less. I would go to TJ Maxx. I would go to Hobby Lobby. I would go to Walmart. I would go to all these places, dude. And I was not buying anything. I didn't purchase anything. That was one of my number one mistakes. I was not purchasing anything. I was shopping for pussy. And so, you know, I had successes, I had failures. You know, my failures were like, you know, just getting blown out and embarrassed and be like, oh, she didn't like that shit. Or like talking to a girl who looks like she's 25 and then midway through the conversation be like, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 16. And you're like, oh, well, you look healthy. You look well fed. What's happening? And having no about face. I would go around to my college campus doing this shit. And I had successes, I had failures. You know, I've had successes in the Hastings book music video. I went up to a bitch in the action movie section with some huge fake titties in Oklahoma. She had a tiny little waist and some huge fake titties, boy. And she had that fucking fit little yoga body. And she was like, you know, a MILF. She was like in her 40s. But she had that fit little body. And she had the big fake titties. And I went up to her, started rapping. And my go-to move was like, oh, you know what? You're really cute. We should get a coffee sometime. And it turned out that the Hastings book music video I was in actually had a coffee shop within it. And she was like, oh, we could just go over there and get some coffee. And I was like, you know what? That sounds good, but I have the organic stuff at home. Let me make you some coffee. Just trying to bring her back to the pad, son. And so I didn't expect her to do anything like that. I didn't expect any positive results, but, you know, I got her number, started texting her, sent her the address. Hour went by. I was like, whatever, it's not gonna happen. Then she texts me, where you? I think I'm close. I was like, oh my God, she's coming over for some coffee. So I made a couple cups, brought her in the bedroom, started rapping about Buddhism and opening your chakras. And before long, I was opening that blouse and the titties were loose, baby. And I was sucking all up on them. And so you go from the street to the sheets in less than 2 hours, baby. That's what can happen when you take a chance. Women love it when you take a risk like that. You put yourself out on the line, put your balls on the line, and you know, you might get a reward for it. You might also, like I did, go up to a girl on campus and start rapping to her, starting a conversation. And all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I've talked to this girl before and she has shot me down before. And she had totally changed her hair And so I didn't recognize that it was the same bitch that I was talking to. And so she freaks out, thinks I'm a stalker, runs over to the student conduct council, and all of a sudden I'm having to have a sit down with these stuffy feminist bitches that are like, we're just wondering what your motivations are, Mr. Jordan. It's very troubling. And it's like, I'm a dork who's trying to figure out how to get laid. What the fuck do you not understand? I'm working through my shit here. You know, but to a certain extent, women like being approached by a confident man in public, especially when they go up and they get all dressed up and they get all made up, and it's all for nothing if nobody comes up and starts rapping to them and, you know, ask for their number. They like that shit fundamentally, because you had the balls to do it in public and risk getting totally blown the fuck out and embarrassed. But, you know, once you realize that you're not attached to the outcome, and it's just about taking that risk is the value in it, and you learn something from it every time, that's a lesson for life. I applied that to stand up. So you don't have an outcome independence of like, oh, I need to kill every time or it's a fucking failure. No, you learn from your fuck ups, and you don't be outcome independent. You take that fucking risk, and you don't give a fuck what the fuck fundamentally happens. I mean, you care about the outcome, but you're not attached to it. It doesn't define you. What defines you is if you're willing to take the risk. That's what you define yourself by, is having the balls to take the risk and put yourself on the line. You know? And that's what women respect. And they also respect saying, bitch, no. Oh, what up, McNasty? Glad you enjoying it. Glad you enjoying the rapping. We just out here trying to say what's true, baby. We're just trying to lay down the law as it is, man. Trying to present reality back to you motherfuckers and get some feedback, you know? I'll go one more beer. Fuck it. Let's go one more beer, ladies and gentlemen. We're going deep. But yeah, man, that's how you define yourself, is fucking by the risks you take to get what you want in life, man. If you're not willing to risk the shit, you're not gonna get it. Put your balls on the line. That's why all these comedians are fakes out here, man, in LA. Because they don't risk anything. I risk it all with pretty much every set I do. Because I'm an open Trump supporter in Hollywood. That's putting your balls on the line. All right? Fuck these white liberal dudes who are trying to transition into being a chick. That's not even risky anymore. That's falling in line. Chopping your cock off ain't even a risk. All right? I'm metaphorically, you know, putting my balls on the chopping block when I go up there and say I voted for Trump. And these motherfuckers can't even fathom why I would do that. Because in their mind, they're like, oh my God, he's burning all these bridges. He's destroying all these potential networking connections he could have with the Jews. And it's like, motherfucker, I have a fidelity to the truth. I don't give a fuck what you think, because I have a personal relationship with the truth. I make arguments. I have a fidelity to reason and evidence. All right? I have a fucking mission that I'm on. You don't have a mission, so you don't get it. You're just trying to manipulate people into liking you. Man, if I say this, then maybe they won't like. If I actually say what's on my mind, well, everything's going to be ruined. You're a pathetic piece of shit, and you're spiraling down into destruction. That's all that it leads down into, is your own personal hell that you're designing for yourself when you don't go up and speak your mind and say the truth as you see it, and really try to figure it out in front of people. Because if you don't have the balls to do that, you're selling yourself out. You're already dead. You might as well fucking end it. You're already dead. You're a zombie. That's why The Walking Dead is so popular. Because everybody's already fucking dead walking around. Because they don't have a fucking consciousness in their skull. They're just, everything's predetermined. They're a fucking robot. Yes, white straight males are bad, and black people are always good, and the cops are always racist, and we need rich people are bad, and it's income inequality, and white people are to blame for Native American genocide and for slavery, and we just gotta feel guilty, and when they need reparations, and white privilege is real, and you're a robot, you're a zombie, you're already dead. Give up. And they will give up because they're not fundamentally, they don't have a mission. They don't have anything that's fundamentally driving them. So it's all about status. It's all about trying to get money. It's all about trying to be in the cool crowd and like trying to get people to like you and trying to manipulate people into thinking that you're the type of person that's cool or like on the right side, or like trying to it's all this female, beta male shit. It's like manipulate and trying to figure out what's the best marketing strategy. And it's like, you're a pathetic fucking loser. Like, you think you're gonna be happy doing this shit? Like, you're a total sellout from point one, from the jump. You're a total sellout. You're not gonna accomplish anything. You think you're gonna go down? You think anybody's gonna remember you? You think anybody's gonna look back in comedy history and be like, oh, he was great? Like, nobody remembers anybody that doesn't stand for anything. Anybody that just falls in line with the leftist narrative and it's like, yeah, Trump is orange and dumb. Fucking white people, am I right? Nobody's going to remember those comics. Nobody's going to remember this trash fucking Netflix bullshit that's being pumped out. They're not going to go down as anything important or landmark or legendary. Legendary motherfuckers do legendary shit. They talk about what's not popular. They talk about what's not socially acceptable, and they do it despite it. You think it was socially acceptable for George Carlin to come out and say religion is bullshit in the early 90s? You think it was socially acceptable for Bill Hicks to come out and say drugs have done good things for society in the 80s? Dude, go against the grain. It's not just about going against the grain just to ruffle feathers. It's about having a fidelity with the truth and having an actual fucking mission to what you're doing and having a point to your fucking life instead of just squirming around trying to, bust nuts and fucking, sneak into getting some pussy and like, manipulate people into liking you and fucking convince people that you have a consciousness and you have a fucking existence between your fucking ears. Nobody's buying it. You're a zombie. Like, and so that's why I just sit back and laugh, because it's like, man, this is going to be a fun ride. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Oh! And you motherfuckers are here on the entry level, rocking with me, and I appreciate it, baby. You're here on the very beginnings of this redwood tree. And I'm just here trying to present some dragon energy to you. Hollywood comics just selling out for society for money. Yeah, Joe is abusing weed to stay away from the hard truth. Andrew Schulz is cool, man. I've been listening to him. Yeah, dude. He seems to get it. He seems to get it, but he also, he's not philosophical. What he's doing is doing shit that's politically incorrect just for the sake of doing shit that's politically incorrect. Because I heard him talking about politics a little bit. He doesn't really get it. He doesn't really get it. He's kind of a leftist who's just kind of, he's an individualist that's also a leftist. So he's not with the collectivist identity politics bullshit, but he also, you know, he'll make a joke that doesn't, about Trump, that doesn't necessarily trash Trump and like making fun of the people who, you know, were super offended by grabbing him by the pussy and all this shit. He'll make fun of trannies, you know, but fundamentally it's about, do you get what's really happening? Do you get that the mainstream media is totally bought off by, you know, the deep state and the intelligence agencies? Do you get that the Federal Reserve is really the organization that's running the show? Do you get that the big banks have bought off all of the politicians in recent history besides Donald Trump? Do you get that he's a legitimate outsider? Do you get that people like Alex Jones got banned off of all social media because they were actually exposing what happened in the WikiLeaks? They were actually exposing the evil that was happening in the DNC, the corruption that was happening, the rot that was happening in the deep state, actually exposing the bullshit that Obama tried to pull over the American public's eyes with the wool, because he's a slickster fucking salesman for communism, and he's actually has all these drone programs, and he's bailing out the big banks, the same ones that finance his campaign. And he's all this secret NSA spying on everybody, and he just goes after the whistleblowers instead, no matter what he said in his campaign, and the secret drone programs, and destabilizing Libya and Syria and the Middle East, and now there's open slave trade, and all of this shit, constant war while he's at presidency. If you don't call that shit out, you don't have a fidelity to the truth. And so you got to call this shit out, man. You got to call it. You got to be objective with what you're talking about, and that's what. I mean, I'm not religious. I'm an atheist, so I have to have fidelity to something higher than myself in order to have a mission. And so, have a fidelity to reason and evidence and philosophy and the truth, and submit yourself to that shit. That's what they always talk about in the AA meetings. That's why motherfuckers go off the rails with all these drugs and shit, and get super deep into you know, drugs and sex, and they go off the deep end because they don't know how to regulate their own behavior, because they're not submitting themselves to something higher than their own ego satisfaction. And so that's why I know I don't have any competition out here in these in LA with these comics, because they don't have any higher mission they're shooting towards. And so they're inevitably going to fall down the path toward drug addiction, fucking STDs, getting a bitch pregnant who they don't love, going broke because they're spending all their money on you know, momentary pleasures, and they don't have any plan for the future, and you know, getting sick because they're smoking cigarettes and not eating right and shit, and not going to the gym because they don't fundamentally have anything higher than their own ego gratification to submit themselves to. And so whenever you have a higher mission that you submit yourself to, like they say in AA, that's how you know how to reel yourself back whenever you get too deep into some shit that's not benefiting you. And so we just sit back and laugh at the Outrage crew, baby, because, you know, fundamentally, when it comes down to it, see me in flesh and test and get your chest blown. With that linguistic kill shot, baby. Oh, it's so beautiful, man. I just relish in the confrontation. It's just everything I want, man. I just love getting into conversations where I know I'm in the right, and I can just relish in all the ignorance going on around me, and it's heaven for me. People are like, how can you be out there in Hollywood where everybody's all fucked up? And it's just like, it's just, it's the gratification of knowing that I am out here doing my thing, and these people think that I'm the one on the wrong path and that they're in the right. Meanwhile, they're self-destructing, and they can't figure out why they're not happy and why they're so depressed and why they want to kill themselves. But they hate Trump and they blame Trump for everything. And I'm on a mission out here, baby. I'm crusading. I'm just cruising and crusading, baby. Somebody got to do it. You goddamn right, PewDiePie. And might as well be me, a humble young gentleman from Oklahoma, coming out to, reform Hollywood from all its debauchery. Because goddamn it, I grew up on movies. We grew up on movies, man. We can't let this fucking place fall to these idiots. You know? I'm out here trying to save the stand-up comedy scene with a little bit of, little slice of that truth pie. You know? Write some movies that actually mean something for once. And all this fake fucking superhero worship. You know what real heroism is? Going up on stage in Hollywood and saying you voted for Trump and saying Hillary Clinton was a corrupt fucking witch. That we're much better off having the country saved from her evil ass. And, just going up there and saying the truth that everybody else is fucking scared to talk about. That's real heroism. But everybody thinks that they're, small and insignificant and they don't mean anything. And it's like, I can never be Superman or Batman. I don't have any superpowers. You know what your superpower is? The truth. And going up and saying it in public. That's what gives you superpowers. That's what gets your fucking motors running. That's what we're born to do, is go and say shit that's not socially acceptable that's true. All right? That'll get your limbic system all fired up, baby. You be fueled up on some dragon energy, son. Jacob Cruson is back with his homophobic slurs. Green Weevil, I do not sleep. I run at 100% efficiency. All right. My dragon energy stores, they carry me through the night. All right. And I'm fully vampirized and zombified. All right. I do not sleep at all. No, I get some sleep whenever I can, But Western civilization has to be saved, dude. Trump only sleeps like 4 or 5 hours a night, all right? You got to get the work in, all right? Yeah, baby, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. I'm going into the belly of the beast and trying to make a career out of it without the approval of any of these fucking gatekeepers. And so that's why I appreciate you guys coming on here and hanging out with me and putting up with my bullshit and laughing right along with me at all the absurdity of the world. It means the world to me. You guys come on here and hang out and laugh and talk shit with me. Gives me a little sense of community out here and makes me feel less isolated, because it's easy to feel isolated as a person who actually critically analyzes things and has a fidelity to the truth and has a mission to expose it out here in Hollywood, when everybody else is just trying to get their fucking dick wet by some herpes infected hookers at the open mic. All right, so I appreciate y'all fucking hanging tough with a brother. Because that's the only way to get it done out here. You got to build your own platform and get it done yourself. You got to create shit yourself out here, because nobody else is going to make it happen for you. All right, so you got to get out there and move and shake and make it happen, baby. I'm trying to build a fucking common sense resistance to the horse shit out here in Hollywood. A freedom-based, truth-based resistance to the communists and the Jews and the subverters and the pokers and the flippers and the goddamn tyrants. Now the little fucking sailboats on the shirt there, buddy. Little sailboats. We're sailing into a future of freedom. AJ, you're definitely an assistant manager, dude. You're on the squad. You know? You hang tough every night on the Outrage stream, baby. I know. I see what you're doing up there, AJ. Yeah, that's the Yang Gang is the hashtag Small Wang Gang. All right? Because that's what happens when you have that small wang. You want $1,000 a month for free, you know, just for, you know, continuing to breathe. And you think that Andrew Yang is, you know, going to take care of all your problems. When do you get paid, AJ? Well, you know, it's whenever, you know, the Outrage crew sends in all their paychecks, and I decide how much to disperse back to them. I will disperse some back to you. But other than that, you know, you got to put your yarmulke out here and come out here to LA, dude. $1,000, that's that small wang money. What up, Green Weevil? Yeah, dude, we got to do some sketches, man. We got to do some goddamn sketches. I'm trying to recruit more comics from the you know, from the open mic scene. All the regular homies. Kevin Bennett is just too goddamn busy out there doing his goddamn accordion show with his French accent. Horse shit. I love Kevin Bennett, but man, that stand-up act is rough for me. I wish he would just be himself on stage and talk about, you know, talk about what he really believes. Oh, thanks, man. The white privilege tax, that was fun to do, dude. We did that in the Planet Fitness parking lot in North Hollywood. That was some fun shit. We got some shit coming up, man. We're doing another Russian skit. As soon as we get these motherfuckers back together, Kevin Bennett's gonna play a Democratic Socialist politician and explain to, you know, his final solution for the straight white male problem. You know, because these socialists are fascist in disguise. All right, they want to try to convince you that fascism is a right-wing ideology, but in fact, it's a big government corrupt system. It's a leftist paradigm, ladies and gentlemen. Any system that involves a big authoritarian government, you're leftist. And Hitler was a vegetarian failed artist who couldn't get laid. What does that tell you? You sound like a right-winger? Hitler was on that tofu salad, dude, trying to bang Jewish chicks, and they didn't want any part of it. That's how the Holocaust happened. The Jewish chicks were like, Hitler, are you even selling any of those paintings? And he was like, Nein! You all die! And that's how the Holocaust happened, all right? Soy boy beta rage. Don't let them tell you the Nazis were right wing. That's propaganda, ladies and gentlemen. The National Socialist Party, not very right wing there. Paint me like one of your Jewish girls, Hitler. All right, one more piss. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. The Russians hacked my bladder. Robert Mueller is on the case. All right, the Russians have hacked my bladder, and they've made it very small. Fucking yangers, dude. The Yang Bros. Andrew Yang is gonna put his small foot down and make Amazon pay taxes because they can't afford plane tickets and they can't afford lobbying teams. They're just helpless rich people. They know not what they do. Jeff Bezos sent that. He sent the most expensive dick pic in history, though. He's the $140 billion man. And, he sent out that dick pic that cost him $70 billion. That's that $70 billion dick pic, bruh. That's hefty. That's a hefty price to pay. And goddamn, I'm looking for, a matriarchal partner here. I'm trying to, get with Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. If she's out there, if she's watching the stream right now, what's up, baby? What's up, Miss Bezos? What's happening, baby? I'm trying to be that $70 billion man, I'm not saying I'll be, I'll have fidelity to you and everything. I might fuck around, but, I'll be a stable partner. Okay. Oh, the Yangers are obnoxious as a motherfucker, dude. Because it's just a rebranding of socialism. They pretend that UBI is some revolutionary concept. It's like you're just taking money from rich people and giving it to broke, do-nothing motherfuckers. The Cheeto Finger Xbox dicks. They deserve $1,000 a month. I don't think so, dude. Trump should fire Ajit Pai. I don't even know Ajit Pai. Ajit Pai, the FCC chairman. Why should he fire him? I think he was good. He was good on the that internet regulation they were trying to do. The whatever it was. He's a Verizon lawyer. TPP. He was good on that. That attempted government takeover of the internet. He was against TPP. And the left hated him for it. The left hates Ajit Pai. Anybody the left hates, they got to have some redeeming qualities. Oh yeah, Joe Rogan is a definite yanger. He's a midget yanger. All right, 1,000 centimeters high, $1,000 a month. Yeah, Joe Rogan, he's very sympathetic to the welfare system for some goddamn reason. He was brought up in the leftist generation and, very feminine and very beta and very supplicating when it comes to, stealing rich people's money and giving it to poor people and thinking it's going to benefit society. Newsflash, we've had a war on poverty for 60 plus years here, Rogan. And we've invested $20+ trillion into the war on poverty to eliminate poverty. Poverty's gone down less than 2%. Not quite working there. I mean, I don't know if you've come down from your Woodland Hills palace there in any recent times, but plenty of poverty on the streets of Hollywood here. Plenty of people laying across the sidewalk looking dead as fuck with their entire ass out of their pants. And the government doesn't seem to give a fuck. You know, even in Beverly Hills, I go down and do Postmates in Beverly Hills, and there's just, you know, destitute, fucking homeless, weirdo black people staggering around, like picking cigarette butts out of the fucking trash can and smoking them and like talking to themselves. And it's like, oh yeah, the war on poverty really succeeding. Really just helps when you dump a bunch of money on poor people. That really helps them get out of the fucking hole. Welfare does not work, especially when it's a government program. All government programs achieve the direct opposite of their stated goal because it's funded by coercion with a gun to your head. Oh, human nature, how does it work? Put a gun to somebody's head and tell them what to do, and they automatically want to do the opposite. How does it work? Incentives, how do they work? Yeah, the war on terror. You don't fight the symptom, you fight the cause. Islam. Yeah, you can't force democracy on a population at the point of a gun. They're automatically going to do the opposite and get even more radicalized. And then you get ISIS. And then you get even more fucking digging their heels into the mud. You can't force people to do shit. You have to let them come to their own realizations. It's called voluntarism, ladies and gentlemen. It's called lovemaking and not rape. The government's into rape, all right? Bernie Sanders wants to jack that rape through the roof, all right? We're not into rape here at the Outrage TV, the Outrage cast, okay? We're into lovemaking. We're into consensual fucking, all right? We're into consensual pussy grabbing, all right? We're not into, you know, Harvey Weinstein, you know, late night dicking down in the hotel room when it's supposed to be a business meeting. We're not into that shit, dude. We're not these creepy gammas and creepy betas out here chasing herpes, okay? Oh man. People out in Hollywood like to say that they're woke, but is there anything better than actually being woke? Actually being woke to the realities of the society around you? Oh my God. As long as you have some cold beers in the fridge, it's wonderful. You can come on and laugh with your friends. and you got a mission to fight for the rest of your life, dude. The knowledge comes responsibility, comes meaning, comes happiness, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it unfolds. That's how you stay away from depression. That's how you stay away from the bullshit. Is you process reality effectively. You recognize the knowledge, you recognize the mission that has to be accomplished. There you derive your meaning. There you derive your happiness, ladies and gentlemen. Philosophy 101. I wouldn't have it any other way, baby. I want them all against me. They can all fucking get it. They can all get it, dude. Because you know what? You know what the fuck is up. You know what the fuck is going on, dude? This ain't a podcast. This is the Outrage cast, dude. We don't give a fuck. The more people that are against us, the better. All right? It makes it that much more fun, dude. Oh, it gets my dick hard. Well, it's 2:27 in the a.m. I should probably wrap this motherfucker up. I gotta get up in the morning and go to the gym and work out and shit. You know. But I love you bad motherfuckers out there. Standing strong. You're standing and smirking just like the evil Covington Catholic kids. You're standing there and you're smirking in the face of these pokers and these flippers and these subverters. All right? These goddamn ideological subverters out here. They got no staying power, dude. They got no dicks. They got no dragon energy. They got no sustaining abilities, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna fizzle out, and we're gonna be still here laughing at them the whole fucking time, dude. That's how it goes, baby. Outrage TV. This is the motherfucking Outrage Cast. Follow me on Instagram at Nick Jordan himself. Follow me on Twitter at I am Nick Jordan. The full audio of the podcast on all the podcast apps under Outrage Cast, all one word. I'm not gonna be drinking tiger blood, baby. We stay regulated. You know, we stay on the noble path here at Outrage TV. Like it if you like it. Share the stream out if you want to share that motherfucker out. Hit the alarm bell to let you know when I go live. Yeah, baby. If you want to, send me some shekels. There's the Bitcoin address below. You could super chat. You could, do all that wonderful stuff. It's much appreciated. You keep the dragon energy fully fueled. And we're crusading, baby. We're on that full-fledged crusade, dude. And you feel it, and I know it, and I love it. And so we'll be back here probably tomorrow night. Same outrage time, same outrage place. Keep rocking it out, speaking the truth, unapologetic. Don't take that motherfucking knee. Look bitches in the face and say, bitch, no. And then watch them come crawling back wanting your dick. That's how it goes, baby. It's been fun. I'll catch you bad motherfuckers tomorrow night. Outrage TV, Nick Jordan. We're doing it big. Glad to have you along for the ride. All right.